It's a unique lineup for the Mariners this afternoon, the opener of their game against the Rays. 4:10 first pitch. Pregame coverage begins at 3. Day off for Colt Emerson and Victor Robles. So you have Miles Masterboni in right field batting 8th, and Buddy Kennedy making his first start for the Mariners playing 3rd and batting 9th. Again, Luis Castillo gets the ball for the Mariners. Also, some news earlier in baseball. Shohei Ohtani will miss his start tonight due to irritation in his left knee. He's also pulling out of the All-Star game. And the Cardinals have signed their rookie infielder J.J. Weatherholt to an 8-year, $112.5 million extension.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Friday to everybody out there. Another beautiful day outside. Perfect weather. Perfect for this Mariner team to start winning again. Seems like a good time for that. We'll talk to Ryan Divish of the Seattle Times coming up at 2:30. He's going to spread all of his sunshine and love on the listening audience out there, get everybody inspired to watch the Mariners take on the Rays in Game 1 of that series coming your way this afternoon. We got Mean Text coming up at around 2:45, so 45 minutes, folks. Can they do it, Lefko? Lefko in for Dave Wyman, who's out golfing today with Jacob Green and that charity golf tournament that we were talking to him about the other day. So Lefko's in. Do you have faith that 45 minutes will be enough?
I have zero faith. And Wyman had such little faith that he just took the day off.
He's like, they're not going to.
Yeah, he told us before he left yesterday. He said, those morons, there's no way they're even awake. Yeah, they're not going to send anything in about me, Dave Wyman, so I'm taking the day off. So,
about me, Dave Wyman.
Yeah, nothing will come in about Wyman. No mean texts will come in about me either. They're not capable of thinking of a thought that quickly.
All right. Well, should you be able to put a thought together, 866-979-3776. I do love that Dave went third person in that.
Yeah. He said, just to clarify, because I had to relay the information, if the texters think that I am talking about me, myself, no, Dave Wyman was talking about himself.
That he used his first and last name. That's great. That's great. So get those mean texts coming in around 2:45-ish today, and man, it's I'm going to be off next week till Friday, and I'm kind of glad because I'm fearful of this series with Tampa Bay based on what we've seen in this series against the Marlins, who are let's not mistake it, and they kept saying it on the broadcast, and we said it before the series. That's a good team. That is the hottest team in baseball since the beginning of June. So you didn't get beat by scrubs. So there's that, but this team went so far out of their way to help them in this series that it's maddening to watch this team, and they've fallen back to 500. They're 2 games off of last year's pace, so it's not night and day, but it feels worse based on expectations coming into the season. But you're now in second place in the AL West. Is this the low point? I know they've had longer losing streaks. They've had games where they've not played well. They've had series where they've been dominated. This feels like the low point, I think, because of the manner in which they've lost, where they just felt like, and we've had these conversations where I've come in going, they didn't feel competitive. Mm-hmm. And I know that they got dressed up at the end, looked like it got, 8-4. Hey, they cut the lead. They were out of it.
I think I was looking back to the Padres series. That didn't feel great because of the Munoz. The Padres series way back in April because the Munoz blowing the lead and they got swept. But that was way early in the season. They were 20 games in. So, yeah, with what we thought.
They got swept by the Rangers.
And also very early in the season. So, yeah, any other thing you could point to is all the way back in April. Like, all right, that's too early to make a pronounced sweeping judgment. So here, all the way at the end to beyond the first half of the season where, all right, we call it the first half because it's before the All-Star break, but you're past the halfway point. It looked like maybe you had found some momentum against, all right, sure, 2 bad teams, but you had won 5 of 6.
You did we've seen them lose to bad teams.
You did what you had to do. They had gotten some breathing room. All right, this is where the Mariners start to figure it out. Was the road trip going to be tough? Yeah, but at some point you have to beat good teams. You're going to play good teams down the stretch and in the playoffs. So it doesn't feel great. I would say, to this point, probably the low point of the season, just because how it feels and how uncompetitive the last maybe couple nights were. Hard to say 2 nights ago was because it's 2-0, but the way the offense didn't muster anything. Yeah, the way these 2 games ended, this is probably the low point.
Yeah, just the mistakes and just not competitive. Some of these at-bats aren't even competitive. For me, it's all subjective, right? Somebody else is going to text and go, I don't know, that Padres series was awful, or even that Rangers series in April was terrible, and I think they only scored 3 runs in that series or something. Yeah, those are all bad. These are varying degrees of bad. The Royals series I haven't been able to let go of.
That's true.
But this just, I don't know, man. This just got to me, and this team is how do you fix the offense? I get very definitive answers on Twitter. I'll post something about, oh my God, this Mariners offense, what is happening? And then one after another after this, it's this guy, bench this guy, fire Dan, fire Seitzer, everybody's got a very definitive answer. And I get that a lot of that is born out of emotion. I get it. I'm right there with you. I'm in front of the TV yelling and screaming things I can't say on the radio. Trust me. I'm with you, people. But when you step back and you take a breath and go, all right, this team, I still maintain talent-wise is decidedly better than what they're putting out there, what they're producing. How do you fix it? We've seen them shuffle the lineup. Julio's not there right now, so we'll see when he's going to be back in this. How much does he impact what's going on there? But what do you do? What's the? I don't think there is a simple answer. Like stop running this guy out there. Stop running Refsnyder out there. Okay, well that's 1 of 9. And then especially when it comes to runners in scoring position, this is a collective. This is the worst team in baseball with runners in scoring position. Lowest batting average in baseball, 221. There's not a team that's worse than the Mariners with runners. So what is that? What is it? Does Dan, as some have suggested, need to get mad and then start tipping tables and throwing things around the clubhouse, or who's he going to bench? Who's the answer on the bench that's not being used? I mean, I think it's easy to be mad and point fingers, but considering this is the group you have to work with, this underachieving group, how do you get them to achieve? How do you get them just to play to the back of the card?
Well, I think you can kind of break that up. You can put more on Dan to get them to clean up those mistakes, the self-inflicted mistakes, maybe non-competitive things, all the stuff you mentioned, where if it doesn't look like they're engaged, they're not taking competitive at-bats, that is on the coaching. That's what I put on that. The issue right now when it comes to actual production is for the guys you're missing, no Julio, no Donovan, and you're probably missing a right-handed bat because of a lack of a roster space right now that hasn't gotten filled with the Refsnyder not performing to expectations. So with that not being there, not having an additional right-handed bat, Julio out, Donovan out, you unfortunately have to put more on your stars. So it boils down to Randy, who is carrying it essentially. He's got an all-star season, Naylor and Cal. I think the fix is that they start performing, because the rest of your lineup are guys who had formerly been platoon guys or guys who are popping in to fill injury spots like a Master Boney or a Buddy Kennedy today, or in the case of Cole Young and Colt Emerson, 2 very young guys who now look, Colt Emerson, they had to give him the day off. He's really been slumping over the past couple weeks.
Had a base hit last night.
Yeah, he did, but his strikeout rate is really bad over the past about 3 weeks. So you can't say day in and day out, these are the guys who are going to put the brunt of the production on. It boils down to, and maybe it's unfair, but this is what comes with being a star and getting paid like it. Naylor and Cal have to step up.
Yeah. I mean, it's as simple as that, but it's why isn't it happening? I mean, Cal, we see, I mean, look, his average isn't going to change overnight. It's down there. He's in the 160s. We saw him hit a home run the other night. He's come up with hits since he doesn't look like the old Cal, but he doesn't look quite as badly as he did prior to leaving with the injury. So, I understand there's a lot of – it's funny how fast people turn, man. Cal is a saint in this town last year. Cal for president. And now it's this guy stinks. Get him down. Sit him at 9 in the lineup. Give him more days off. He's not taking it serious. I mean, just the indictment on his character now that somehow he hadn't taken the season seriously, and it's like, oh, come on, man. None of this is through lack of effort.
I would hope that's a bit, or just people who are completely detached from reality, because Cal is still pretty unassailable in what he means to this city.
I think it's just anger. Yeah. It's frustration, and I get it, but it's just. Again, gotta fire Dan Wilson. Gotta get rid of Seitzer. The one guy who seems safe from this, and I said this in my note to you, is Edgar.
Mm-hmm.
People are a little loath to be critical of Edgar, who's just as much a part of this as Seitzer, as Magianis, or as any. He's part of the crew, if you will, that is working with hitters, right? I mean, when things go great, we hear about how great he. And I'm not lobbying for people to start ripping Edgar. It's just something I noticed last night that they'll rip basically everybody else, and every other one is fired Dan Wilson. He's terrible. Nobody really takes shots at Edgar. He's kind of like the sacred cow, you know?
I think it's tough to really figure out what a hitting coach does day in, day out, especially when it's split like that, where there are two of them. And this is all kind of working in line with the direction of the manager. This wasn't a situation. The only time I can think of where you're like, okay, the hitting coach is the scapegoat and we're going to make a departure is when they brought in Brant Brown. That was a marked change from, oh, yeah, we're doing this. Now we're bringing in someone who has new philosophies, who's a little bit different than the operating system of Dan Wilson, has Edgar, has Seitzer. They're all kind of working under the same guidelines. That was different. Other than that, it's tough in a season where you're still very much in it to say, oh, we're going to make a scapegoat out of someone mid-season. That's a move of desperation, like the Mets firing their manager, because the season is just sailing away from you. But in this instance, and it's frustrating, but the Mariners are, well, we know they're a half game out of the division lead. They're like a game and a half out of the 2 seed in the entire American League. So you're still very much in it. You're not going to make a drastic sweeping change in that moment.
Yeah, and I saw people last night, and again, it's social media, so take it for what it is. It's very reactionary. We're sellers. Mariners are sellers. Here we thought we were buyers. Get ready to sell. I'm ready to trade this guy. I'm like, really? They're a half game out of first place. I get it. I'm frustrated with everybody else, but some of the statements you said there go, wow. Yeah, I'm glad you're not the GM. Glad you're not the GM. Well, Cal was, we had the reemergence of the Cal Raleigh show yesterday, and he talked about not playing up to expectations yet and what they need to do as a team after this All-Star break.
Anybody thinks it's going to be easy or you could just repeat what you did last year. That's never the case. Each year is different. It brings new challenges, new opportunities. And I think, looking at it through that lens, I think it's going to be important for us, in the second half to come out with that focus and come out with that energy and that edge of, nothing's given to you. Nothing, each day you got to go take it. There's teams in the league that are, trying to beat you every single day. There are teams gunning for you. We have that target on our back. We have to understand that, and we have to embrace it. We have to take control, and we are in control of our own destiny.
Yeah, and hopefully they're able to, the time off will serve them well. Hopefully they'll be able to relieve whatever stress, if they're pressing, whatever's going on. It's so hard to identify because it's been so up. And you see an 8-game win streak and the offense putting up 11 runs in this game, and then all of a sudden they can't hit squat. I mean, last night they were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position, stranded 8 more. As I said, currently hitting .221, worst in all of baseball with runners in scoring position. And they did, I think what frustrates me, Lefko, in a lot of these cases, they'll do it against pitchers that have no business shutting them down. I'm sorry. I get that they're all big leaguers. They all have stuff, right? I acknowledge that. But this constant tipping of the cap, though, I tell you what, this guy's splitter was pretty good. Or this guy's slider was pretty good. Shut up with that. Okay, everybody's got stuff. And you got this guy, Jansen Junk. He was first start off the IL. Look at his numbers. He's okay. He's okay. He walked 4, had 2 throwing errors himself, and you put up 1 run on him, 1 earned run.
Yeah, you had opportunities early. That was
tons of opportunity.
He walked a couple of guys, both innings,
giving you
first 2 innings.
Yes, he's giving you the door. He's opening the door. Here, crush me, and they can't do it, and they get shut down by guys like this, and that I think frustrates me as a fan as much as anything, is seeing a guy. It's not like you're going up against Skeens, you're going up against Ohtani, and you're going up against Crochet or whoever you want to throw out there. You're getting beat by also-rans. You're getting beat by 5s in a 1 through 5, true 5s, or guys that are even openers, if you will. They're bullpen guys, and they're out there shutting them down. That stuff makes me nuts. Mm-hmm. But how do you remedy it? I don't know what the problem is, and they clearly don't either. We can all sit there and go, well, the offense stinks. Okay, yeah. Why? As much as you may believe this roster is not as good as we think it is, it's still better than what it's putting out there. There's still more talent. We've seen it. even if you don't want to buy into the guys that are new to the process. You've had Julio here. You've had Cal. We got a half season of Naylor, a little less than half season. We've seen what these guys are capable of doing, and they're not, by and large, doing it, with the exceptions of Randy and Dom Canzone, are kind of your guys. And Canzone is certainly had some hot and cold spots. He's hot. He's a regular in the lineup now. He's earned it, which is great to see. Leads the team in home runs. Randy's been your most consistent hitter all year. Outside of that, everybody else has been really up and down. And I don't know how you fix it. I have no idea how you fix it. If you're Dan Wilson and these are your pieces, tell me what you do.
Yeah.
What do you do?
You hope your stars perform in this situation because you're missing some key bats right now due to injury.
Yeah. Now, looking at the pitching, this is the other part of an offense playing like it is or not playing well. You don't have any slack. The starters cannot have a bad day. As soon as they got down, it was 2-0. I'm like, oh, boy, this is going to be tough. 3-0. Oh, geez. This is over. It felt like it was over. And essentially it was. Bryce Miller had his first bad day. Mm-hmm. He has been their best pitcher since he came back from injury. It was a dud game for him. And this is a guy, we've talked about this, Mike, that he's been pretty pointed in talking about the piggyback when asked about it. He doesn't try to dress it up. Oh, man, hey, man, this is great. We're all working together on it. He's been, well, look, I'm a starter. And, he's made it clear he wasn't a fan of the piggyback. Last night he kind of made it clear he doesn't like the extra rest on this 6-man rotation.
Yeah, I feel good. It's always weird. I was telling Trent earlier, like, it's weird because, the more rest you get between starts, it's almost like body feels better, but stuff isn't as good. At least that's how it feels like it's been for me. And, even on, 5 days rest compared to 7, going into the game, I might not feel as good, but sometimes the stuff is sharper. So it's kind of give or take. And today, I felt good going into the game, but the stuff just wasn't very sharp.
So how do we view that? Because he's been consistent in that. I think if you just said, give me your honest answer right now, what do you want to do? I think you go, I want a 5-man rotation, man. It's what we've always done. I feel like that would be his answer. Let's just get to a 5-man rotation. Whoever the 5 are, this piggyback, this 6-man, back to piggyback, back to 6-man. I feel like he's made it abundantly clear it doesn't really work that well for you. He doesn't love it, even when he pitches well in the piggyback situation. So do you look at Bryce and go, you know what? You ought to just be quiet and go along with what the team's doing. They're in charge. You're a player. You play. Or should the team be listening to him going, yeah, this isn't great. He's maybe the only one voicing it. I find it hard to believe he's probably alone in those feelings, but he seems to be the one who's most aggressively putting it out there, if you will. And that's not aggressive. He's not being a jerk about it, but I think he's making it clear he doesn't love either situation.
Well, supposedly everyone was on board with the piggyback, and they'd never kind of went through with the opportunity of doing the piggyback with the other 4 starters. So it was only Bryce Miller. I would like to see them try that again. I thought this would have lined up perfectly to piggyback Brian Wu and George Kirby. That's when they backed out of the Gilbert Hancock thing the first time. I was like, oh, okay. So now you get it lined up where you have the July 5th, Hancock, Gilbert, and then Wu gets piggybacked on the road. Mitigate some of the issues he's had, but no, then they completely went away from it. As much as Bryce Miller might not have liked the piggyback, if they go with every other pitcher and he's not the only one doing it, perhaps that spreads it out. It was working. I mean, it was working. It was saving the bullpen. The 6-man, for a number of reasons, we can see why it's not working. Because of the strain on the bullpen, because the pressure puts on the starters, where you almost have to go 7 innings. You get into a situation like last night, you're going to have a bad start every now and then. But with one less high-leverage arm and then one less arm total, it makes it tough. It makes it tough on a lot of guys, and the piggyback was kind of effective. I'd be curious to see what they do in this next month until the trade deadline. It feels like nothing's going to change unless you do somehow get rid of a pitcher. I don't know if they're going to trade someone. I don't know if once they get past the deadline and they have their team, they'll make a finite move. But for another month, it doesn't seem like anything drastic is going to change when it comes to moving a starter to the bullpen.
Yeah, it just feels like there's a little turmoil with it right there. Not making a big deal out of nothing. But you can just, he's made it clear. If you listen to Bryce Miller, he's been the one guy who's made it pretty clear, like, yeah, I'm going along. I don't love it, though.
And I hope they do take from what he said and the performance of, look, he was great in all of his other starts, and now you pitch him on a 6-man for the first time, and he doesn't do well.
Yeah, and he comes out and says, yeah, your body feels more rested, but my stuff is not sharp. So That's an indictment on that. We'll talk more about that. Real quick question for you and for the listeners. You guys can text it in 866-979-3776. Sitting here at 500 right now, half game out of first place. And this will change throughout the season. But right now, do the Mariners make the playoffs?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I still say they make it as negative as it's been, as bad as this feels like a low point to me. I still think they make the playoffs. You guys tell us, are we drinking the Kool-Aid, or do you buy that they're going to find a way based on the division they play in and faith that they're going to get it turned around, that they'll make the playoffs? Text that in. Meanwhile, let's take two.
Well, Julio was eligible to come off the concussion 7-day IL today, but our Mariners insider Shannon Dre reports that he did not make the trip to Tampa, so he's going to be unavailable until after the All-Star break. And then Brendan Donovan, who was originally supposed to begin a rehab assignment in the Arizona Complex League down there in the Peoria area after he was rehabbing, he now has not done that, and there's still TBD about when he'll start a rehab assignment.
I don't like either side of that news. Julio, I gotta admit, I should apologize. I thought, he got doinked on the back of the head. He's wearing a helmet. He's fine. This has gone on longer than I thought, so obviously it had more of an impact. He's a gamer. That's not a guy who's looking for opportunities to sit.
And he stayed in, too, for like an inning and a half.
Yeah. So obviously this decidedly more serious than I gave it credit for being, because I was at the game as a fan sitting in the stands when that happened. Like, I was like, whoa, did I hit him in the head? Yeah. Initially I thought it was a shoulder or whatever, and then you see it's the head, and it's turned into a much more serious thing. So hopefully that gets rectified. But yeah, the Brendan Donovan thing, man, I don't know. I don't know what to think of that when he's going to be back. When he gets back, is he going to be durable? Is he going to be available? Or is this going to be an ongoing thing? It's really disappointing.
Well, some news around baseball. The Dodgers announced tonight that Shohei Ohtani will miss his scheduled start due to irritation in his left knee. He's also pulling out of the All-Star game to get that treated. So kind of too bad for the Mariners. They're not in the National League. Ohtani, Mizorowski, and Skeens have all backed out of the All-Star game. So Mizorowski and Skeens, they're pitching on Sunday. Ohtani due to injury. And then some news for the Cardinals. They've signed their rookie infielder, J.J. Weatherholt, to an 8-year, $112.5 million extension.
That's the thing, right?
That's
Connor Griffin and obviously Colt Emerson, seeing these young guys getting these huge long-term deals, which I get it. It's a gamble by the organization. You're betting that this kid is going to become what you project them to be, and this is going to look like a very favorable deal to the team based on baseball dollars. But it's the gamble that they become Evan White. And that's not a shot at him. He had injuries and things that obviously derailed his career, but he took the deal. I remember people going, he's stupid. Why would he take that deal? Well, I'm sure he's glad he did. So that's a risk that paid off for him, not the organization. I'm sure Jared Kelenic wishes he took the deal that he was offered from the Mariners, because he was offered something similar and rejected it. He doesn't have a team right now.
No, and at least for the Cardinals, they got a pretty good sample size. I mean, Weatherholt's been one of the best rookies in baseball. He's a bona fide Rookie of the Year candidate. Probably will win Rookie of the Year in the National League. So they have that sample size. The Mariners, yes, you could say, hey, they did a risk with Emerson this year before he even made his MLB debut. He's had a great start. Yeah, Connor Griffin. So this is the new norm, though, for a lot of reasons. And you just broke down all the positives for this, that if for any reason any of these guys exceed that, the price would be absurdly high compared to what they're getting them for.
They look like great deals by the organization. All right, Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. We'll see if Ryan Divish can answer some of these Mariners questions that we've been posing to you. He's going to join us next. It's Wyman and Bob. Lefko in for Wyman at Seattle Sports on 710.
Congratulations, Randy Arozarena, 2026 All-Star.
It is grand salami time! Randy Arozarena clears the bases.
It's kind of helped them hang in there throughout this year.
He likes being on the big stage.
It is gone! Randy Arozarena strikes again. Welcome to Randyland.
From the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Fast Water Heater has spent the last 40 years becoming Seattle's go-to at one position, hot water. Dave Wyman here, and I always talk about how important versatility can be. At Fast Home Services, they've built versatility at every spot in your home's lineup, adding HVAC, plumbing, and electrical. That's Fast Home Services. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST to book your free in-home estimate, or visit fasthomeservices.com for a virtual quote in seconds. for water heaters, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical services.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and summer's here at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can check out upcoming shows like the Pop 2000 Tour with Chris Kirkpatrick of NSYNC, O-Town, Ryan Cabrera, and LFO on August 1st, or relive the 80s with pop sensation Taylor Dane on September 6th. You can find tickets at snocasino.com and the full lineup, plus experience luxury with breathtaking Cascade views, world-class dining, and play your favorite games. Elevate your next getaway. That's Seattle's closest, Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
Need a lift? Levitt Machinery is now your authorized JCB dealer in Washington and Oregon. From telehandlers to track and wheel loaders to excavators, JCB equipment is built to work as hard as you do. Whether you buy, rent, or lease, Levitt Machinery is here to support you. With expert service and local parts in stock, LevittMachinery.com. Talk to Levitt Machinery today. Stack it, reach it, lift it, Levitt.
We have values. We live those values. I think that's the best thing that this company has for it, is its reputation of taking care of people.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. For the Puget Sound, that means local service including burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and custom security designed to work with business operations. Bay Alarm has real people rooted in your community looking out for your business. After 8 decades and 3 generations of family ownership, our promise is still the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Digging in my yard, trying to lay a pipe. I hit a water line and now I have to pay a big fine. I should have called 811.
Mariners and Rays today in St. Pete. 4:10 first pitch, pregame at 3. Get every pitch of every game for free on the Seattle Sports app.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Jane is a small business owner.
That's right.
And tell them what that's like, Jane.
Yeah, well, it's like a roller coaster with a lot of ups and downs, and some days things can feel like they're flying off the rails.
Yep, it's a lot. But the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business can help you manage it all. With the largest, fastest fiber-powered network designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect. Plus gig speeds with security and equipment included. All with a 5-year price lock.
Nice. So everything stays on track.
Exactly. The Total Solutions Advantage. Get started for just $60 a month for 12 months when you add wireless connect to a qualifying internet package. No one does business like Comcast Business.
Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. new customers only. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and automatic payments with bank account required. $60 offer requires 300 meg internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We had a lot of questions in that opening segment as it pertains to this Mariner team. We bring in a guy who's got a lot of answers. He's going to make us all feel 100% better about what we just saw in Miami going into Tampa Bay. You know him, you love him, does a great job covering the Mariners for the Seattle Times. Ryan Divish is with us. How are you, man?
Not to go all existential like Brian Wu did, but maybe there are no answers. There's only questions. There aren't answers. The answer is there are no answers.
Well, as you know, if you read social media and all that, everybody's got very definitive answers. Fire this guy, cut this guy, bench this guy, and I'm like, all right, let's deal in reality. You got the pieces you've got, Ryan. You've got the guys that are available. What I'm posing this question to those that think Dan is the major problem, and I'm not saying he's not. I think everybody's complicit, but if you're Dan and these are the pieces, how do you get this offense going? I mean, they're the worst offense in baseball with runners in scoring position. They're hitting .221. We've seen them go 0 for the past few. I mean, it's just been so abysmal. But do you look at it and say, look, this is on the players, or do you look at it and say, look, Seitzer and Edgar and Magianis, these guys have to figure out a way to push the right buttons? How do you view it?
Well, I could show them some of my emails from people offering hitting tips, or from Mariners fan 1-2-12 or 12 for life 1-2-7, and they're hitting tips. No, I mean, not to be like, Gene Hackman or Norman Dale and Hoosiers, like, this is your team, but it is right now. And somebody had asked me about why don't they bring up Brian Bliss and to replace Weston Wilson on the lineup. I go, that's not the problem. Weston Wilson's not the problem, although he made a bad mistake. He barely plays.
Yeah.
The problem is the best hitters aren't hitting, and you're missing two of your better hitters on the injured list. So I don't know, focusing on it, and sometimes sitting there talking about all the struggles and focusing on how to fix it might just speak the struggles into more of an existence than they already are. You don't want to have a complex. It's like when I was covering college volleyball in college and everybody was taller than me, so I only talked to the setter because she was the only person the same height as me. I don't know. You don't really want to have – they know – you talk to the players, they know they're not hitting with runners in scoring position. They like to see RBIs next to their name too. And they know what they're doing, that they're not coming through. They know that they're failing and failing miserably. And it's how do you get out of it? Do you focus that much harder on trying to get a hit, or do you just kind of relax and say, if I just keep the same approach and I do things the way I'm supposed to, I will get the hit eventually with runners in scoring position. But it just becomes so magnified because it seems like it's team-wide, and there are varying approaches to guys doing it. And sometimes it's just who's coming up with runners in scoring position too. It's a weird thing that they're kind of going through. We've seen that before with the Mariners in the past. But the one thing is they're not hitting enough home runs when they're, whether there's runners in scoring position or not, to take some of the pressure off of it. They're not a great manufacture runs team. They don't bunt. They're not really stealing a ton because they don't, their best base threats aren't, getting on first or even in the lineup. So that they're trying to rely on getting singles in all these situations. When if hit a home run early in the game and just get some runs early, maybe that helps you a little bit more. But I think sometimes just over focusing on your biggest flaw just magnifies the flaw even more. It's like with Wyman. You sit there, you talk about the hairline and where it's going to be. If you magnify it, it's going to be worse. Right. Suddenly it's a 7 head. Suddenly it's a 7 head instead of a 6 head or a 5 head.
He's not here, unfortunately, but we'll pass the message on.
I know. It's a lot easier for me to say that when he's not
here. On the other side, though, Ryan, after hearing Bryce after the game last night, do you think that changes anything with the pitching plan, or what do you think we maybe see with this rotation coming out of the All-Star break?
I really don't know. I think they're not going to go away. They're not going to suddenly move Luis Castillo to the bullpen. Like if they did that after the break, I would have a bigger issue with it then, because they've waited it out so long already. Like it's clear that they're keeping him stretched out for multiple reasons. One is to guard against injury, and I think two is to maintain some level of trade value. The moment he goes into the bullpen, all the value he has as a starter and all the value, the possibilities of moving him go out the window. And I don't know that they're necessarily, that's the highest priority is moving him, but like they want to have that option available. It's a lot, one thing is he's owed a lot of money and maybe hasn't performed up to the level of the paycheck he's getting, but you don't have the option of trading him if he is in the bullpen. All of a sudden, like the Yankees lose Carlos Rodon to elbow inflammation, their rotation gets a little thinner. The Cubs, they're going out and getting kind of just replacement level guys to make starts. Maybe they're a team that wants to make a deal, but you can't make the deal if he's in the bullpen. So I don't see any movement towards moving him to the bullpen or moving him out of the rotation until the trade deadline is passed. And I think that's when you would see the true movement and all of that.
What do you make of Bryce? The one thing I really appreciate about him, and I'm sure you do as a guy that has to cover this team daily, is his candor. And he's been pretty clear without directly saying, I don't like it, I want a 5-man rotation. He's talked about the piggyback, and he's like, look, I'm a starter, and you play the cards you're dealt. And he's never acted like he's totally embraced it. And then to hear him say last night, like, yeah, you feel better after 7 days of rest, but the stuff's not as good. I mean, he's as vocal as anybody's been, and I guess being critical. Do you look at that as a positive, like, hey, man, at least the guy's being honest, or do you think he should be, hey, just fall in line with the rest of the guys, and it's a team, and everybody's on board whether they like it or not?
No, well, it's a positive for me when I'm writing it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if he tried to like talk his way around it, it would be noticeable because he's been so engaging and so honest in the past. And it's not to say I don't think George loving having 9 days off the other day.
Yeah.
And I thought that might have affected him. This is kind of the hand they're dealt, and sometimes like guys need the extra days. Meanwhile, like Logan and Emerson love it. They don't mind it. They just adjust their schedules and such. But I guess we'll see if it really affected them or not, because they've got a couple extra days too. So the Mariners are in a weird spot coming out of the break. I haven't really looked at how long or how they've slotted everything, or because they haven't really announced how they're going to slot it, but I haven't looked to see what the off days and such are coming out. Like when there's no off days and stuff, the 6-man works fine because it's like the one extra day of rest. It's what gets thrown in the mix is there's more off days in the second half than there are in the first half. Major League Baseball built it in that way because they felt teams were getting tired towards the end, so that's what the players union wanted when they did the last CBA. So that's what they'll have to navigate is all of that, and I think that will be interesting how they do it, how they slot, who's coming out, who's starting right away. My assumption is it'll still be Logan and Wu and Hancock coming out, or Logan and Wu for certain in that first series, and probably George, but you just don't know. I mean, Bryce has been their best starter. Maybe they say, okay, man, maybe you need to come out this time and start this, but they'll slot it out the way they think, and I'll be very curious to see.
Hey, real quick before the break here, what's your level of optimism on the return of Donovan? It seems a little vague and gray, like, yeah, we thought he'd start a rehab assignment by now, but now it's to be determined. Do you feel like there's been a setback, or this is just going to be something that is lingering the entire season? How do you view his presence?
Yeah, I don't know, view it as necessarily a setback. A setback means you stop all activity.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's still doing stuff every day. He's just not comfortable to get out there. And they may be timing it out, scheduling it out how it best works for him, because he's going to be playing down in Arizona, and he's going to be playing through the All-Star break down at the Arizona Complex League. Dan Wilson said today, they said in the next couple of days he thinks he'll get into a game. So I guess we'll see and go from there. But getting him back would be useful, that's for certain. But given this injury, and I caution anybody before they go pick up something heavy without bending their knees or doing anything that might lead to sports hernia surgery. from what it sounds like and the way he described it, it's awful. And I'm surprised he's even playing right now because the amount of stuff that they did in that procedure is pretty crazy. And I can understand why it's been a back and forth process.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan, as always, we appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for the time, and enjoy the weather out there, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good. See you guys.
There you go. There's Ryan Divish of the Seattle Times out there in the sweltering heat of Florida. Now they're in Tampa. Is it hotter, or is it the same?
Equal mugginess. I think they're glad to be back inside. The air-conditioned Trop is back and functional.
Well, Marlins, they have a roof on that one.
Yeah, but like last year, remember in Tampa, they had to play outside.
Oh, right. And
so
the Yankees,
not fun.
Spring training facility. That's right. Okay. Our thanks to Ryan Divish. If you missed any part of that, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, the NFL is in the quietest part of the offseason, yet there's still plenty of material for WHYMAN. Plus, your last chance to get your mean texts in. Get those in, 866-979-3776. We'll come back with all of that. It's Wyman and Bob Lefkoe in for Wyman at Seattle Sports on 710.
Congratulations, Randy Arozarena, 2026 All-Star.
It is grand salami time! Randy Arozarena clears the bases.
He's kind of helped them hang in there throughout this year.
He likes being on the big stage.
It is gone! Randy Arozarena strikes again. Welcome to Randyland.
From the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
The price of gold has doubled in the past 2 years, and both gold and silver reached their highest price ever earlier this year. Dave Wyman here, and the folks at Bellevue Rare Coins say higher prices have enticed more Americans to cash out their jewelry, gold, and silver items, some of which have been in families for generations. If you're waiting for the price of gold to go even higher, there's no guarantee prices will stay this high forever. Here's a story from a real local customer. She walked into Bellevue Rare Coins with an old bag of jewelry, a little bit nervous, a little bit embarrassed, because it was mostly old tangled chains and pieces she hadn't looked at in years. But Bellevue Rare Coins made her feel comfortable, because gold is near record highs and her jewelry was worth far more than she ever imagined. Once she saw the total, she laughed and said she could not believe she almost gave it away. So just go see what your jewelry is worth. A free consultation won't cost you anything. Bellevue Rare Coins is now in Linwood, Issaquah, Tacoma, and Bellevue.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about soccer. Serious passion, inhuman stamina, and yet exaggerated injuries. Soccer is one of the few sports where overtime is a little subjective. One thing we know is that many fans enjoy game day with craft brews. Be sure to keep a clean sheet. It's not worth trading in those bicycle kicks for riding your bicycle to work. When being pulled over for DUI, there are rarely yellow cards, only red. So play it safe and don't go off sides. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to schedule your free private consultation. If you're stopped for DUI midfield from home and there are no free kicks, make it your goal to call 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY. Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code SAVE to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code SAVE to borrow up to $10,000. Use code SAVE to borrow up to $10,000.
Do you know a woman making a difference in Seattle's sports and events community? Someone who leads with purpose, mentors others, champions inclusion, and inspires those around her to be their best? Why Seattle and Seattle Sports want to celebrate her. Nominations are now open for the 2026 Women of Inspiration Award, recognizing an outstanding woman whose impact is helping shape the future of sports and events in our region. Submit your nomination today at WOISeattle.org. Nominations close July 10th.
Mariners and Rays today in St. Pete. 4:10 first pitch, pregame at 3. Get every pitch of every game for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Your property is almost perfect, if it wasn't for that troublesome tree or stump. Stop looking at it and mowing around it. P&D Tree Service will remove it for you. If it's 1 tree or 15 trees, a small yard, or land clearing, P&D Tree will do it safely and quickly, turning multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. They'll clear trees and stumps away from homes, leaving a clean yard to enjoy. They specialize in large tree removal. Ever seen a tree removed by crane? PNDTreeservice.com.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising! After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. Make this the summer you start to relax and feel better right in your own home. During our All-American Soak, Swim, and Sauna event, enjoy liberating savings on a saltwater hot tub, swim spa, or sauna, with up to 3 years to pay for it interest-free. A soak or swim under the stars, a sauna after a long day. Celebrate feeling better today. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Tell me why.
Why, man? Why?
Lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
He's a habitual line stepper.
What were you thinking? What are you doing?
Why are you the way that you are?
It's the WHYMAN of the week.
WHYMAN is presented by Mazda of Everett. And again, a reminder, we'll get to mean text here in just a couple of minutes, but a couple of entries into our WHYMAN. This comes from NFL.com's Bucky Brooks, who we like. Bucky Brooks, does a nice job, but he predicted, for whatever reason, that the Seahawks will have a 7-10 record this year. And then he was on with Brock and Salk and tried to explain the reasoning behind that prediction.
The division is hard. But before we go to the division, this is the thing I think everyone has to understand. And the 12s have been through this before. It is really hard after you win a title to sustain yourself the next year. Normally that next year you come back because there are a few different things. There's some natural complacency that seeps in. The team is never the same. And the energy that you face from everybody is drastically different. With a team that's still on the young side, the maturity that is required to handle that, that's going to be a lot early.
I mean, I get what he's saying. I don't buy complacency is going to set in with Mike McDonald there. I think especially when you got a new coordinator on offense and everybody's learning something new. It's not, you don't have the luxury of walking in and going, I know this offense, the same old. This is all new, man. You got to learn. I don't know how much new terminology there is, how much of a variation there is on what they did last year versus this year. I don't see McDonald allowing that, especially as young as he is in his career, allowing for complacency to set in. I get that maybe they won't. Yeah. I'm not saying they're winning the Super Bowl back-to-back, but the idea that they're going to go from Super Bowl champs that lost 3 games all year to being a 10-game loser, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I appreciate Bucky Brooks coming on, but none of that really makes sense. I mean, they are in a more stable position than they were prior to last season. They have a quarterback. They have everyone in place. They're key guys on defense. They don't have a lot of young guys that are key contributors without veterans. You have Leonard Williams, Ernest Jones, Julian Love, Sam Darnold, JSN. Those are all veterans at this point in key positions. So I understand trying to be a little bit different. We don't have to go through game by game of the schedule, but it's really hard to figure out how you can get 10 losses out of this schedule. Even worst case scenario, like say somehow they lose twice to the Rams, maybe once to the Niners, once or twice to someone else. That's like 6 losses. And that's the absolute worst-case scenario that I don't even think's plausible.
Yeah, I don't. Barring major injuries to significant players, I just don't see that as realistic. All right. Entry number 2 comes courtesy of, I guess, the latest version of Antonio Brown. His name's Brandon Ayuk, who's just, I don't know what he's doing. He's killing his career. That's what he's doing. He's been lobbying unabashedly to get to the Commanders. Wants to go play with Jaden Daniels. That's his college teammate. He's propping them up. He's just dissing the 49ers. I'm never going to be there. I won't be in that stadium except for the day when the Commanders come to town. And now all of a sudden he's mad at Jaden Daniels because apparently he doesn't feel like Jaden Daniels stuck up for him when he was doing an interview and somebody brought him up, is what I read, and he felt like Jaden should have stuck up for him. So now he was calling out Jaden Daniels and his mom.
Father gonna text me talking about something. You want money? Boy, I'm a grown-ass man, boy. You gonna have to start running behind your mama, and I might believe what you talking about. But until then,
What is he even talking about? You're on my team now. I don't even get it. I think he's nuts.
Yeah.
I think he's certifiably nuts. I think he is Antonio Brown.
Well, I thought I had missed something when this came out at the start of the week. I was like, did he sign with the Commanders? The Commanders sign him? No, he's not on any NFL team right now.
And I'm saying he won't be.
He will not be.
Here's my bold, not bold prediction. His career's done.
Yeah.
His career's done. Yeah. I don't see. I think Antonio Brown is the lesson that most teams learn. They looked at him and said, why would you ever want that element in your locker room? And he is proving to be very much that kind of guy. Now, I don't know that he's out there breaking the law and doing things that Antonio Brown was doing, but he's the behavior is just something you don't want in your locker room. So see what happens with him. But the guy that he wanted to go play with, now he's calling out on social media. All right, let's get to mean texts.
All right, Morans.
How'd they do on short notice, Lefko?
Moranic as always. No, there are some good ones. I mean, they all were about Wyman for the most part.
Moranic.
Like usual.
I still want the originator of that to check back in. They went dark after that.
I don't think that person realizes that they're the origin of what we are saying here. I think they just fired off a text, probably auto-corrected, and then he or she is just oblivious to it.
Just bailed after that.
That person thought they called us morons, and they were earnestly calling us morons.
Yeah.
And it auto-corrected to Morans, and now we're having fun with it.
Do you think it auto-corrected? Do you think that's how they spelled it?
Maybe they spelled it like that.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
509 says, a new oxymoron. Wyman? Celebrity? Because this is a celebrity golf tournament, I guess. That he's playing in.
206 said, best day of the year from Wyman.
Good contributions there. 360 says, Dave playing golf. It's impressive. Is this the first time he's aimed for something other than inanimate objects?
I guess it's still an inanimate object.
I don't know if he's aiming. He might be hitting inanimate objects. Like if you're in the gallery, watch out.
Here's one taking a shot at you. Lefko is never Rightco. He likes the Tennessee Titans.
That is a devastating burn.
You okay?
Bob, I don't think we can do any more mean texts after that. We might have to wrap it up.
Gotcha.
So, out of all the mean texts that have ever come in about me, that one hurts the most.
Rightco. Never Rightco. You have a good one to go out on?
253. Wyman and Bob is this station's version of having the bullpen blow it.
Ooh. That's solid.
Yeah.
That's pretty good work. All right, we'll take that. There you go. Our thanks to Ryan Divish for joining us on the program. If you missed anything from the show today or any day, just go to seattlesports.com, click that podcast tab. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you on Monday right here with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
Congratulations, Randy Arozarena, 2026 All-Star.
It is grand salami time! Randy Arozarena clears the bases.
It's kind of helped them hang in there throughout this year.
He likes being on the big stage.
It is gone! Randy Arozarena strikes again. Welcome to Randyland.
From the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Need a heavy lift? Levitt Machinery is now your Taylor lift equipment dealer in Washington and Oregon. Engineered for extreme duty durability. Taylors are designed for demanding environments with uptime built into every machine. When the work is tough, Taylor delivers. And now backed by Levitt Machinery in the Pacific Northwest. LevittMachinery.com. Give us a call today. Stack it, reach it, lift it, Levitt.
Trust is everything. Earning it takes years. Losing it takes 5 seconds.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. With burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and local service, our promise to the Puget Sound remains the same. We got you.